Hello, this video is designed to show you, the teacher, a quick overview of the app Keynote on your iPad and how to use it in some of its, I guess, more traditional ways, but also an idea for how to use it in a little bit more creative way. So to start out, let's quickly just go over Keynote. If you look at Keynote here, it's the blue app here with a presentation stand. So I will tap and open that up. When I open it up, I have the options here to take a look at some of my other presentations I've made, but also I'm going to choose the create a new presentation. And I'm going to choose a theme just to show you that if you don't want to be creative with your presentation, making the backgrounds and all of that, you have some really cool themes that you can just add your information to. I'm going to start out here with just a blank presentation. So to get started on here, I'm just going to do a double tap on that first text box, and you can see that I can change it to my presentation title. So it's dogs, but you'll notice there's some things I want to change. So that leads us to just kind of talk about here quickly something about the Apple apps on the iPad. The Apple apps on the iPad have this small little menu in the top right. The main tools that I talk to students about are these two here, the paintbrush and the plus sign. The plus sign, just like you think of when you add something, it's exactly what you do. When you want to add something to your presentation, you hit the plus sign. If you want to paint something or change it, you change the color. It's what you normally think about with a paintbrush. You're editing it, so that's when you need to make changes. In this case, I want to edit this text box a little bit, so I'll hit my paintbrush. And there I have the option to change, again, the alignment. I could even change the alignment in the text box like this. I could change the size of my text, make it a little bigger, slowly there. I could change the color of it to a little bit brighter color to stand out. So those are where all my changes can take place to my text boxes that are there. I'm going to just take these. When I tap on a text box, you'll see I have the options to get rid of them or other things we'll talk about later. But there is kind of some of the basics you see of how to add something here and to edit it here. So let's add a new slide. That's found down here in the bottom left. So I'm going to hit slide, and again, I have a number of different formats. For our purposes, I'm just going to choose a blank one because I want to show you a few more things that you can add. So I'm going to tap on add there, the plus sign. And you can see there are some options here. We'll talk about those in just a minute. But the first one that people usually want to know about is how to add another text box of your own on a slide presentation. And this is where it can be a little tricky because it's a little bit hidden. But if you go over to we're on here on this media tab here. If we go to the second one here over to the left, it's the shapes. And under shapes, under basic here, you see text. Yes, text is under the shapes tab up there. If I tap on that, you can see that I can add in my next thing. That was dogs. Let's let this one be cats. And now I can go to my paintbrush and I can make it bigger, way bigger, of course, if I'm starting over and this is a title. Again, I can change the alignment, I can make it bold, I can change my color. So any of those options, again, that we did before. While I'm looking at it here too, I also noticed that, I've started my presentation, but I do want to change my background. White's kind of plain. So without selecting anything and just choosing the paintbrush, again, one of the things you can do, you'll see there is the background there. So I can tap on background and I could change the color to a solid color. The gradient gives you two different colors. Kids actually like doing this because you get all the different combinations here. If I go back, I can flip them. So that's on the top. I can change how they mix. So it's kind of a cool thing for making your own backgrounds there as well. So that is some of the basics. Let's go back to some of the other things that you can add to the slide here. So I'm under adding here. About shapes. That's kind of a cool thing. Before I leave shapes, if I tap on shapes, I get one of those shapes that pops in there. And that's kind of cool because what I can also do, after I change the color so you can see this better, is when you make a shape can also, if you double tap on it, which I just double tapped with my finger, it has become a text box in and of itself. So if I tap on this, I've now made it not only a shape, but I've made it into a text box as well. And once it's that way, I can again change the formatting to put it on the top or the bottom, or I can format in the middle. I have all those options to change it. So shapes can also become text boxes on a slide there. Arrange is something, this top menu here again, style is the color and everything, text of the shapes and the like. Arrange, just quickly, when you put things, add things onto a presentation, every time you add something new, it's like adding it on top. So I added my green box last, so it's actually on top of cats. Let's say I want cats to go on top of my green box. When I tap on cats and go to arrange, you'll see here it's on this little slide bar from back to front. It's way on the back. If I move it to front, now when I move cats, it's in front of the green box. And so it shows up as opposed to here in the back, it's hidden. Sometimes that can be a little handy tool when you are doing some, trying to hide some things specifically. So in this case, we want to just keep it in front though. So let's go to, so that's some of the basics of how to add certain items to a slide presentation. You might have heard my dog barking in the background there for a little bit. So it's appropriate that we did a presentation on dogs. But let's move on to a little bit more out of the box way of thinking. So this is, you can have kids make presentations, but another way to do a unique presentation is to, let's go over here to a new presentation, choose a theme, and hit my presentation. I don't want these for this thing, so I'm going to hit delete and delete both of those things out of here. And I hit delete. So I'm going to start with a blank slate. I'm going to go up here to hit add. I'm going to hit add. And I'm going to add a photo. And I didn't go over these before. So I can add in a photo. I could take a picture of something. I could record audio, my voice speaking. I could also find a video online, like a YouTube video, and put that into my slide. An image from my image gallery. Drawing, you could do this if you don't have a crayon. We'll show you the crayon here in just a minute as well. But I'm going to take a photo. So I'm going to tap photo, and you can see I found this picture of Jackie Robinson. And let's say I'm doing a presentation on Jackie. So instead of just making a regular slide presentation, I took that picture of Jackie. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to format that to the paintbrush. And you'll see that there's this opacity. And I'm going to back off the opacity, which is the kind of the see-throughness of it. And I made it a little bit lighter. And the reason I did that is because I am now going to tap on the screen with my Logitech crayon, which I just put in my hand. And you'll see that I have my drawing slate here. And I'm going to choose one of my drawing tools. And I'm going to choose a little thinner marker there, but I'm going to choose the black crayon. And I am now, you're going to see, I am able to, without being a very good artist, able to draw and trace Jackie, which is going to make me look like a lot better artist than what I am. And so I can get in here, get a little bit more fine-tuned with my drawing. If I needed to, I could go back and make the opacity a little bigger. I'm going to change this here so I could get in on the B here. And it's a really thick marker I got here. But you see I can go down there and make it thinner if I really needed to. One other cool little trick about this is this other little tool here, the paint tube. Let's say I wanted to color this cap in here now that I just filled in. I filled in that with, I have the outline of it, but if I want to color that in blue, I just now have chosen that paint tube. If I just tap, it'll now fill in that color. So the same thing with that B. If I wanted that B to be filled in with, let's say, white. Okay, so now I can tap on the paint tube and I can tap in there and it's actually filled in that B in white. So and then we'll just do this and let's just tap in there. So now you can see how that paint tube works. So that's kind of my drawing. What I want to do next here is just to show you when I'm finished. An example here, this is not Jackie, of course, this is a self-portrait. I did a photo of myself. And one of the cool little features inside of Keynote is that you can hit the play button and you can assign an animation to your drawing where it will play back your drawing. So in this case, in this little project that I did, you did your self-portrait like this, and then as it's drawing, students were then adding voice, and you could add the voiceover to the drawing and have it play. So while it's being drawn, it could be explaining who you are in a little bit about yourself, or in Jackie's case, could be telling about who Jackie Robinson was. So that's kind of a cool little thing that you can do. Again, if I play it, it plays back my drawing. So let me quickly show you how to do that little extra, the work, how to do that in a project to make it look like this. Again, I didn't add the sound in this one, but with students, we also added the voiceover. So let me quickly show you how to do that. So let's go back to this presentation that I did with Jackie. There he is. So I did Jackie here, and I didn't finish him, but it'll be good enough to show us. So first of all, I don't need my background picture anymore, because let's say I'm done. So I tap on that and I hit delete. So you can see it's a very unfinished, but you'll get the idea here. So to add that animation, I tap on Jackie, and you can see under this animate button right here, instead of the delete, I'm over here on animate. I get a menu on the bottom, and I get three choices. A build-in is how an image comes onto the screen. Action is an action that it does on the screen, and a build-out is how it leaves the screen. So I'm going to add a build-in feature, which over here is this thing called line draw. So I'm going to choose line draw, and you can see it will play back my drawing just like that. So I'm going to hit done, because I'm going to pretend I'm done here, but oh, you know what? I want to add my voice in here too. And I think it's like it drew really quick. So I know I'm going to have to extend that here. So I am going to, first of all, choose animate again, choose line draw again. And you see when I hit line draw again, I have this box here that I can edit some of the things. So right now it's set to draw in 4 seconds. Let's say I want to talk about myself for about 25, 27 seconds. So now when it plays, it'll go much slower, and I can actually talk and have time to do my explanation of who Jackie was. So quickly show you how to do that again. You might have remembered before, if I hit the plus sign and I do record audio and I hit record, this is Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was a great American in the sports world. I'm just going to stop right there for now. And then hit insert, and you can see I have now my voiceover. The problem here though is that if, like I told you before, as you add things to a slide, they come one at a time. So since my drawing came first, as it stands, my voice would come after the drawing played. So I want to change that so my drawing and my voice happen at the same time. So since I drew this first, I'm going to go to my voice, tap on it. Oops, a little bit of a trick. So I tap on it there to get the menu, not to play. So I tap on it, and you'll see I have the option to animate my voice. And what that means is it gives me the option to change when it starts. So I hit start audio, and instead of starting on a tap, I'm going to change that to, and you can see it says with build one. You remember I told you build are how some things enter the screen. So it's going to go with the Jackie drawing, with that build. So if I change it to with build one and then hit done, now when I go to play this, hit record, this is play at the same time. Jackie Robinson was a great American in the sports. There we go. So that is a quick overview of Keynote. Again, showing you some of the features, the basic features of just how to make presentations, but then just one idea of how you can be a little creative and use one of the animations to have a little bit different way to do a presentation, or have your students do a presentation on something that they've learned.